Okay. Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a good day today. Welcome in. Welcome back. Today should be a fun one. I'm going to try to write a full stack project or build a full stack project from scratch. Um, we'll see how this goes. This is probably going to be quite a long go or like continuous series. I know we built Polywhirl and things like that, but I abstracted to a lot of AI tools. I did write a lot of code myself, but as a result of abstracting to the AI tools, I um I kind of just don't really remember like a lot of the stuff I did. That's the downside of those tools, man, is the lack of repeatability on your own. So anyways, I would like to work on a new project today. Um, and see how it goes. So I'm actually going to open up a new repo. I was going to maybe refactor that old one, but I think I'm just going to open up a new one. Alright, repos. Let's make a new repo here. Let's call this LabRat. Let's code this boy. Okay, so here we are in this new. Get out of here. We don't need you. How do I uninstall this? Let's go to our extensions. Let's uninstall this bad boy. Get out of here. Get out of here. Bye. Get out of here. Okay. So I hope you guys are having a good day today. We're gonna try our best to build this a little bit even more manual than last time. Last time was pretty manual, but like I said, is even abstracting out to some of that stuff, it's yeah, you get a lot of speed, but the recall is pretty terrible. At least that's for me. I have a pretty bad memory for reasons, but anyways, I don't really remember a lot about the ins and outs of the Polyworld build, so I'd like to take this a little bit more seriously about something that I think I has a little bit more practice for. Well, the thing is, it's really hard to know how to spend your time. It's honestly like I'm trying to figure out a project to build that's not in vain. It seems like it maybe could have a shot at being successful, but honestly, at this point, who cares? It's just like just build the build, like, and just stream it. Just have fun. Like, not everything is whatever. So, I mean, I like prediction. I never actually bet in prediction markets, but I like data and science and stuff. So that's why I built Polywhirl. But I don't really have like a direct passion in that field. So, all right, let's go ahead and get into this one. So today, um, our goal is going to be to establish um, a Docker configuration. We're gonna want to um, get up a backend hosted with FastAPI with a quick route, and then we're gonna want to. I think that's where we'll start from there. So, um, yeah, let's go ahead and open up my Docker here. Let's see. Okay, so I have a Postgres instance open for my DB. Okay, I'm going to delete this container for Labrador repo. Okay, I'm gonna go to my containers in Docker here. Hopefully I don't show anything bad here, but I'm gonna go I think what we can do is just create a new container, right? How do we init? Oh, here we go. I have the image I want, so it's a Postgres image. Docker build based on the image I have installed. What's up, two bros? It's not pre-recorded, babe. We live. We live. Okay, so I'm not gonna delete. That's my Polyworld test environment database. Okay. I guess we'll just look up really quickly Docker init flow. Postgres. Official Postgres Docker. I have the image already. See, these are the things that we glossed over at the beginning last time that we can't remember how to do anymore. That's kind of funny. Okay. Let's figure this out. Just need to create a new container. I have an image already in here, a Postgres image already in here. So I just need to make a new container. Why is there no like, and link it to a port, right? Is it like a command though? Column short running containers. Show charts. It's the learning center. Oh, I'm dumb. To create Docker container, first need Docker image, which is typically built on Docker file. Docker build T image. Create a container. Once the image exists, you can create a container instance using two of the methods: Docker create, name, image, container, image, Docker start. Okay. Creating an image from a Docker file. I forgot. Who's got me here? Hold on, let me go to my get my doc open. You go to the control panel here. There it is. Okay. Create a search image Docker run. So let's go to here. We need a Docker dot. Is it YAML? I'm gonna go look at my other project. Docker compose. Okay, so you need a Docker compose file. And that's about YAML. So then we have our image in here from Docker that we have already loaded up, and then we need some passwords in here that we'll load in. So we'll create just a .env file. Oh. And then we have a db What are these? DB user, DB pass, DB name. Okay. That's on that port. I guess what we'll do is also, hold on. What's up, Luis Sierra? Appreciate you being here. Great. And then we don't have a file, so create name container, start name container. We don't have a container created. Docker create dash name container. How to create a Docker instance from a Docker compose. Get out of here. Oh, there we go. Postgres password. 6.75. I thought I did define that. DB pass. Oh, it's here. We need to find these. We'll just say. Does that fix that problem? So we have to initialize this. You mentioned all these postgres with all connections without a password. This is not recommended. So we need to initialize a password on this container. How to set a password on a Docker container. To set a password on a Docker container, you use this h password command within Docker file. Hey, what's up, I'm streaming. I'm streaming. Let's set the password. I've created Docker containers, access whatever. How do you do this? So see the trust documentation. We trust authenticated Postgres as soon as anyone can connect to the server authenticated. We just need to set a password on this. So how do we do that? How do we do this? Google doesn't like that. I said I wasn't going to do it. I don't want to do it. But this is a perfect example for when we should go to it. Here we go. I'll ask here. I have Docker app installed and I have a Postgres image, and I am trying to make a container. It's hot in here. Okay, so we'll go database uninitialized. Okay, I'll delete it. Containers. That's my image. Gotta run this image. Do I need to run the image? Yeah. Epic Franklin. That's the name of my image, a container here. Database uninitialized password. Huh. Why am I blanking on this so bad? So this is where we edit settings. Search terminal stats. I think Franklin, that's the new Docker instance that I have. This guy here. I can't run because there's no authentication here. So we have to figure out how to edit this. Tim, we're failing. Create the container. Oh, here we go. LabRat DB port 5432. Host port. Did this not just work for my... Huh. Why didn't that just work for this? Oh, there we go. I think we're good now. Yeah, it's running. Ah, here we go. Let's go. Okay, nice. Drop the playlist. This is just this small indie band I found called Sleep Club. This is just, I have their music going on loop here. Yeah, it's pretty good. Turn it up here. Okay, I think we're good here. So let's go ahead. So I'm looking for people that are like programmers that are actually like dedicated, that want to join on a project for this project. So if you're interested, hit me up in the Discord. Looking for people that actually want to participate and handwrite code and build something cool, add features for fun, and get better at programming. Not everything's about making money, and I guess I know people got to eat, but it's like got to do what we got to do. Got to just go for fun, I guess. Okay. So we're gonna use SQLAlchemy for this one as well. I'm not going to write my own database engine for this one. I'm going to let SQLAlchemy handle the database connections and whatnot. I had fun doing it last time. I'm not going to do it this time. So, yeah, we'll let that be. Anyways, I'm going to use SQLAlchemy here, and hopefully it'll be okay. So let's get started here. We want to... Let's open up a file. Let's call this all right, let's go and then we'll touch dot get ignore. We will cd, we'll code dot and so let's do slash pycache. We're gonna do v variables. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, so let's then go ahead and okay. I'm going to do touch I guess main.py. And then now that we're in here, we have a Python set up. We're going to go, now that it knows we're going to be in Python, we're going to go python -mvenv dot venv. Right, and then we're going to select that interpreter. Oh, I don't think I want to go to workspace. Oh, crap. Environment. Yeah. Just my interpreter, which is Python in my virtual environment here. Okay, fine. Pip -- upgrade. I can't do it, remember. Whatever we'll do. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just do pip install. Oh no, I'm not even in my virtual environment here. Let me open up a new terminal. Should auto open up my environment, no? There it goes. Pip install SQLAlchemy. Okay. Oh, it's pip install -- upgrade pip. Okay, and then... Yo, what's up, Tree Frog? Hey, John. How's it going, dude? What's going on? Welcome in, everybody. Okay, we have that. We're going to do... Okay, now we have... we'll do pip freeze requirements dot txt. Okay, and that should have that in there. Nice. So we have SQLAlchemy in here, and we have okay, I'm gonna delete main here. We're gonna go make dir database. We're gonna go cd database. In here, we're going to touch main.py, I guess. And so, yeah, this is gonna be our main database file here. So we're gonna do from SQLAlchemy import create engine. And then, so this is gonna be an engine that we receive back. And we're gonna call this create engine function. And we're gonna do it for our local host route. So I'm gonna go into, code.env. We're gonna go into here and we're gonna add in db route local equals to http local force. So like that. I always forget the order. // local host 5432. Did I do that right? Now if we go back into our main here in our database, and we're going to import OS here so we can get access, and we're also going to actually load pip install .env. Alright, we got .env now, and we'll also do import this and .env. We'll do load or .env.loadenv, and now we have access to our variables, so we can do os.get environment variable, and we're going to get the environment variable what was it? I forgot. db route local. And so now we have this environment variable here. We need to save it into, and then we'll just throw this here. Echo true. What the hell does that mean? Is that like a debugger? Like it prints? Probably. That's the only thing I can think of it would be. The main argument is create engine is string URL, passing the string like this for your string indicates the engine 3. Okay. We'll say echo is true here. It's a debugger and a logger. Okay, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna I don't know if I'm doing this correctly, so before we get too deep, I'm gonna check it. Crap. Where was was I? That song's good. This band's so good. It's like such a small band. Gotta see if I can see them live. So we need... Oh, it's Postgres. We also need to install the Postgres SQL driver. Can I use PG3, the newer version? And I have just my local post route in the env var. Yes, and you should use the newer PG v3 instead of the older, unless you specifically need latency. Okay, so weird. So we have to install... I forgot that with Postgres and with these connection engines, you need the Postgres compatibility module or whatever that's for Python, which is PG. Postgres. So you do pip install quote PG bracket, just the binary module in this library or whatever. Let me really quickly ask, what is PG? Is that... It's a Postgres database adapter. Okay, that's what I thought. That's right. Okay. That was right. Okay. What's going on, Castella? Welcome back. Appreciate you being here. A lot of familiar faces coming back in. What's up, everybody? So our route will look something like this, though. Okay, I don't. This is weird. So in our environment variable, instead of localhost, it'll look like this. We have Postgres plus PG, password, LabRat, localhost 5432/LabRat. So we'll just quickly do this with engine, right? It's a context manager. We're going to open it up in this context. Engine or as dot or as connection dot. Oh no, so it's engine dot connect as your connection, right? So it's going to connect and return you back a connection with this context and close it automatically. Okay, that's why we're using the context. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, now we'll print if we can get a connection here. Crap. Connection failed. Connection to server 27001 port 5432 fatal pathline. This is the wrong. It's just the wrong password or something. But let's try to delete the instance here, and we'll bring it back. Role Postgres does not exist. What does this mean? I don't have a password set up. If I take my compose here and I say this is what I have, it should. Huh. I don't get it. Don't get it. I don't get it. What's that one? don't get it. Stuck on this part already. So we can't. We're not getting our ignore return type user connect operational error connection failed. Cannot receive data connection refused. Localhost port 533 connection failed connection server. This is having to do with the password, but password authentication failed for user Postgres. 5432. What host is it? It's not 5432. Hope I didn't do something bad there. Oh my god. I don't know what's going on. I've tried all this stuff. Compose down. Destroy the old database. Okay. Verify it. That's gone. Okay, now we'll just recompose. Dude, what? Password authentication, Postgres. This is my thing here. Hold on real quick. Oh. So you can, it's just this mismatching, I guess. No. Postgres. Gosh. Okay. I think we're good. Jeez Louise. What was that about? I'm not the best with Docker, obviously. Obviously. Um, we're cool. Hey, Jimmy. Okay. Next up, working with transactions. With the engine object ready to go, you can dive into the basic operations of an engine, primary endpoints, connection result, session, protect with engines connect, text select, begin implicit select hello world. In this example above, the context manager creates a database connection and executes the operation of transaction. The default behavior for the Python DB API is that a transaction is always in progress when the connection is released. A rollback is emitted at the end of the transaction. Oh, it's just showing what's happening. The transaction is not committed. If we want to commit data, we need to call connection commit. You execute and then you commit. So you can just insert raw SQL text if you wanted to. Engine.begin, begin once. There's also another type of commit data. We can declare a connection block to be transaction block up front. We'll manage the scope of the connection and enclose everything inside the transaction with either a commit at the end of the block or rollback. Okay, so you can call the begin to automatically commit everything in the context. Okay. Basics of statement execution. Fetching rows. So you can just call, it's just passing in some text, but I thought you could call them like, I thought you could call them as like methods. This is updates. Okay. So what we're gonna do. What? downstairs. Where are you going? To what? Streaming right now.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Cool. Let's get back to it. So what we're gonna do is we're going to crap. So let's just work through this together here, you guys. We're gonna learn SQLAlchemy together here. So we need to with a session engine. Hold on, what's this? As mentioned previously, most of the patterns examples use form as well. So here, just its usage. A fundamental transactional / database interactive object when using an ORM is called a session. What the heck? All right, Corey Shaver, you're my man here.
Hey there, how's it going, everybody? In this video, we're going to be learning how to go ahead and enter a required field. Each request gets its own session, and we set auto commit equal to false, auto flush equal
Session. No. I don't know. I don't have them.
I will leave you alone. I just need the car keys. They're not down there. I will embarrass you wherever I see it. Oh. You said they were downstairs.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so hold on one second.
equal to false because Corey, we need.
Oh, this is part 5. Hold on.
JSON array. So now, since I used UV, and I'm just going to say.
This is FastAPI. I don't need to use fast. I don't need that. I know how to use that. Okay, we'll go to episode 2. No. Episode 3. Path parameters. No. Episode 4. Adding a database. This is 5. Well, this is 5. We missed 4.
For working with databases in Python, and I think this is what you're likely going to be seeing in the real world. Python. This is a dependency. Basically, what we're saying here is if a user has an uploaded custom image.
Just Pydantic stuff. Just app mounting. Grid post.
Here's the thing.
Yes, 4. Just Pydantic schemas. I'm trying to do schemas.
They specify.
Kind of dodged over that real quick, huh? Okay. Consider commit changes. Okay. As mentioned previously, most of our patterns and examples above apply to use with the ORM as well. So here we'll choose the usage. So we have a session. Working with database metadata, import table column integer. Oh, here you go. Table declaring constraints. Okay. We build in a laboratory management system here, but I'm having trouble with SQLAlchemy getting started here. So with engine.connect, we'll say so let's close what you said. You refer your manual SQL for SQLAlchemy writes to connections, executes, handles automatically. Key ideas, engines, connection factory, connections, whatever the live database session, text is raw SQL string. Create engine, database URL. This is not connection yet. It's just an engine. Open a connection. You do conda execute. ORM mode. Higher abstraction. This is where Python objects represent tables. Then you do session.add user commit on the session. Do this. Then execute. Huh. Do you need to use these sessions objects? You don't need a session object to stick to SQLAlchemy core, but you do need to understand them to become necessary. Two modes in SQLAlchemy. There's the core, right, which is what we're doing now, and then the ORM mode. This is where a session appears. SQLAlchemy introduces session when you start mapping Python object to tables. Oh, I don't really want to do that. I can just stick with the core. Okay. Okay. We're back here. So let's do pip install FastAPI. And we'll do git add, git commit, add local db connection. Okay. Nice. So honestly, I think we're good to start cooking here. So let me go ahead and turn on some tunes and let's get going. Okay. Okay. Let's get going here. With session engine as session yield session. I haven't tried that yet, no. So I don't really need to create sessions because I'm not going to be mapping Python objects. I'm just going to use raw SQL, but just do it using SQLAlchemy's, you know, injection engines and functions rather than writing my own. Kind of using the core of it. Do I need that? Okay, let's go. Let's see what we can do here. So we have database. We're going to add a file here called API, right? And these are where our API routes are going to live. We're also in our database going to add a file called Schema. .py, and this will be where our table schema will live. So what we'll do is, and I was talking to our boy, channel member, Mr. I believe it's AJ in here, yeah. And we came up with a model here for what we're going to do. Okay, so we have schema. See, it's kind of weird that we have to... Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to call this the equipment types. Equipment type table. Okay, so we're going to have equipment is going to equal this. We're going to have a list. Right, I think we have a list, right? So we got our previous. Oh shoot. Let's see. Oh, whatever. So yeah, I think it is a list. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up our stuff here. I'm gonna download this file.
Hey there, how's it going, everybody?
Okay. You can open up the schema file. Add it to here. Okay. Nice. So I have this markdown file I was working on. I sent it to our boy AJ in chat. If you guys are wanting to join me on this project and be a part of it, I am accepting people to, like, I want to talk to people. I'm tired of talking to the AI. Like, I have this theory that people are going to get old. It's going to get old talking to those AIs, and people are going to jump back to human connections and whatnot. Like, I'm already tired of it, and, you know, it's only been a few years and stuff, so I'm tired of, you know, the loneliness is kicking, man. Like, I'm tired of talking to an AI programmer. I want to make real connections with real programmers and bounce ideas off of them and build things and stuff. It's just not the same. It's just not fun. Anyways, so if you want, I'm looking for people that want to write code by hand. You can use AI to learn and whatnot, but, you know, write code by hand. So you're not pushing just features for the sake of it. We're pushing features that we strategically want to involve into this project. We want to, you have to actually be involved, so you can't, like, fizzle out after a few days or weeks. You have to, like, continually be involved, or I'll boot you. And 3 is, I don't know, just, like, you know, have fun and know that this is just for learning, and, like, you know, be passionate about it, and actually participate, and know that, you know, it's for fun, and whatever comes of it happens, you know. Okay, let's keep cooking. So if you're wanting to, if you want to, so if you want to be involved, then let us know. Okay. So here for this first one, we're going to do is going to be equipment code. It's going to be primary key. Varchar 3. Not null. Not null. Primary key varchar 3 not null. What else do we want with this one? Unique. Okay. We're gonna have description. Right, which is going to be unique. It's going to be varchar 20. Unique. Well, I can't remember if I'm doing this right. We'll find out. And then we have active, which is going to be Boolean, default, true. This is how you would set up these schemas. What's up, Jimmy? Home syntax is backward, primary key varchar is backwards, type then constraints. Default true, no equals, okay. Okay, we have that in here. I think that's just like, is that Brian Johnson, the guy that's trying to do like reverse age therapy or whatever? Is that guy? I think I watched a video on that guy, and I think his whole gimmick is that he's just trying to like slow the process. So if I had to guess, I don't really know exactly what it is. If I had to guess, it'd probably be just some organism. Maybe it's probably like, honestly, everything's proteins. So probably like a protein or some sort of gene or whatever that causes aging or whatever. He's just trying to slow it, reverse it, or do some sort of modifications to it. That guy's pretty crazy though. Okay. So primary key varchar. So how does this go? Heck. Where's my notes? Okay, equipment. Syntax is backwards. So it's varchar 3, varchar, then boolean, default true. Okay, it's boolean, default true. Okay. And then so the primary keys come after the varchar. Is that okay? So you define the varchar, primary key, not null, unique, description, unique. We'll also say not null here. Active, Boolean default true. It's gonna be only true or false because it's a Boolean. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so we have that table. So in our database engine here, does SQLAlchemy have like a create table function, or do we have to just do it using SQLAlchemy's committing and or like kind of managing, session managing, or like engine management? So like, would we be like def create table, right? And well, let's look it up. SQLAlchemy create table methods. Oh, interesting. So you can like use Python objects to do this. This seems like a lot of work. Just to like avoid writing SQL. So my question is then, can you like use Pydantic models to automatically generate SQL, or to generate the post or the SQLAlchemy stuff, or how does that work in tandem? What's up, Newt? Newbie streaming? Check out Newt. Crack the ORM's greatest weakness. Okay, so SQL model does it. It's a wrapper around SQLAlchemy with an QOL over it. With Pydantic, it's the way. Same author of FastAPI. That's what I was thinking. Is there anything that like combines the two? From SQL model, import field, SQL model, hero, SQL model, table true. It's a table ID, name, secret name, ID. Field, default. You can create rows by just calling different hero instances. Oh. Should we use this instead? Yeah, let's use this instead. Good idea, World Challenge. Should we use this instead? So, SQL model was carefully designed to give you the best developer experience with editor support even after selecting data from the database. The class hero is a SQL model, but at the same time it's also a SQLAlchemy model, so you can combine it and use it with other Alchemy models. At the same time, it's also a Pydantic model. Okay, cool. Let's do that. Pip uninstall. Probably will redo it, but pip install SQL model. Okay, so you would just okay. So we don't have SQLAlchemy anymore. We do. It's just nested. It's like a wrap. This is wrapped around. So we're gonna do this from SQL model, import field and SQL model. Okay, we have an engine. How did it do it? Engine equals create engine from SQL model. Everything's a wrapper. Wrappers all around. Okay, so let's do that. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna have schema here. And so what I'll do is I'll make a class here called, we'll do from SQL model, import field and SQL model. And we'll create a class. This is gonna be a table, right? So this will be called equipment type. We're gonna inherit from SQL model, and we're gonna set the table parameter to true here. Okay, now we just define pydantic fields basically, and then have the fields for setting, defaults and whatnot. So if we're gonna have, let's get up our schema here. What's this song, Minecraft? It's like 12 minutes long. What the heck? Thought I had a mix going. Hey Newt, what's the project going to end up being? So I think it's going to be like we kind of started an example of it a few streams ago, but I'm kind of restarting because I didn't really have like the architecture I wanted in line. There's been a lot of things from carrying over from Polyworld, so I was trying to improve on some stuff. So I think that this is going to be like our laboratory equipment management system for like equipment health, life cycle tracking, status, ticketing, and whatnot. I do need some help though from you guys. If you guys want to be creative and you guys like doing system designs and architecture for products, like please let me know, because I'm having trouble thinking of a fluid way for doing the equipment ticketing and managing all of the scopes of everything involved. Now you might be thinking, Mike, that sounds pretty easy. Just the equipment, you make a ticket, the equipment goes down, whatnot. Right, but there's a lot more to it in a real life lab. Right, real equipment have like their annual maintenance cycles, which involve tickets and contacting of external vendors to fix and whatnot. They have maybe emergency tickets for being broken or having one-off failures that requires manufacturers call outs or things like that. They have tickets, that are created based on like just movement of the equipment. So that probably would fall under like that emergency category. If the equipment was moved, so there's varying different levels to this. And if you have multiple tickets open on an equipment, it can cause the life cycle status to really become fuzzy in a lot of like equipment management systems I've seen and people that I've tried to set up. And I want to try to tackle that idea because it's difficult to kind of fight on all those angles of everything. So I'm going to try to use my experience of laboratory management and equipment on like a large scale for like an actual real world lab to see if I can try to make something like this. If you guys want to be involved, please let me know. I'm looking for people that have good ideas, like to program, want to participate consistently, and not cheat their way through by just using AI or whatnot. No, I'm looking for people to actually use their brains and participate in not brain dead code. Um, that's kind of like the new term for brain dead coding, vibe coding, the 2027 term. Okay, so we have class equipment type. So we're going to follow the simple model here from our schema that we have set up. And we'll kind of use our SQLAlchemy here to our advantage, or this to our advantage. So we're going to have equipment type is going to be given the equipment code, which is an ID, right? Right, so it's going to have an ID. I'll edit that on there, which will be a stir. It can't be unique, so it can't be none, it has to be. So we're going to default to a field, right, for pydantic validation. The default of this is no default. How do you set a length? SQL model varchar string length. How do you set a length? Oh. I'm going to use SQL model. Tutorial user guide. Here. Barn. User guide. Here, table. Watch this for SQLite. Use the engine. That's what we were looking at before. How do you set a maximum length though? Database URL. Now everything is placed to create the database in the table. So this metadata will create all the tables found in the class already. Found using SQL model, tied to the SQL model. Has a metadata attribute. Yeah, okay. I read that like a book. Okay. So we just need to create an engine here. We do that already. How do you set the length? String 3 under the hood. String. Should we do like string? Yeah, I was looking in the field. It might have a max length in the field. Oh, it does here. 3. But does that already set it? Does that correspond to... unique true in the column? But you use a column in SQLAlchemy. Can you not use the max length param in field? Yes, you can, but you need to understand what it does in SQL model. Works for pedantic validation, doesn't reliably enforce var charts create the database schema level. So we have, and then column. So we import those two. We give a string, which is a field. SA column. What is that? That has a parameter, I guess, called SA column, which takes in a column object and you set it to a type string of 3. This seems kind of crazy just for not writing Postgres SQL. I'm about ready to just write Postgres. This is kind of troll. We've already switched up twice now. I mean, yeah, we got to learn, but SQLAlchemy column? Oh, okay. So I think that'll enforce it by default automatically. So we don't even need to say the max length. Then this goes primary key equals to true. So that's ID right there. So then you have like description, right, which is a stir, which is equal to a field. The max length on this is so wild, the nesting of these objects. Let's do like 20 on this guy. This can be unique is true on this, and then obviously unique is by default true on that. So then if we want to, this isn't like a class that a user is going to put in, but maybe we should do max length is 3. Maybe I should not use magic numbers here either, but okay. Description is a field column. I guess we'll do a similar max length of 3 here. Column unique true. Okay. And then I guess we have one more, which is active, which is a Boolean equal to is it a Okay, let's take this what we got so far. Let's see. Primary key is a field argument, not a column argument. Yeah, I have it in the field. ID is stir equals to field. Primary key true. Max length 3. SA column a string 3. Description is stir field. Max length 20. SA column string 20. Unique true. Then active is a Boolean, which is also equal to a field, which is default to true, SA column for column Boolean. And I think we import Boolean here. Yeah. So that is our equipment type for table. Right? Interesting. Okay. So now we can do, that's your equipment type table. Do you guys think that looks good? What do we think about that? Use SQL model to define a proper table. Redundant max length versus string n. You have max length 3 string column. This is fine, but redundant really string 3 database and for max length 3 is a pydantic validation. You're maintaining the same role twice. This is okay for strict systems, but no, it's duplication. Missing nullable equals false clarity. Right now, column string 3. I think the active, you can just set active bool equals true. It's also wanting us in the columns to set a nullable equal to false. But it might be like pretty overkill. Like this. What do you guys think? Who's in here got a SQLAlchemy guru? It seems so silly. Like, I much rather think I'd prefer to write just the pydan or just I can't decide. I'm indifferent. What do you think? Should we just write raw SQL? I don't know if it's worth whatever. I mean, we're doing something new. We're learning something new, so it's whatever. But I don't know. I'm kind of, Okay, let's. When you guys add when in your commits to hold up. Um, real quick. What does that mean? What does that mean? Heads up, weird. What? Whatever. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so what do you guys, when you guys' GitHub ads, do you add all, or do you add the specific file? What do you guys do? We're gonna add and commit. Okay. All right, we have that table now. Equipment type. I want to go to database, schema. We're gonna open up a file called. Should I do this? Should I just keep it all in one file, like tables? Whatever. Okay, class. Okay, let's just take it one at a time here. So we have equipment type here is now there. So we need to go here, create engine, with engine connect. Okay, now so we have our engine here. So I guess you go def create DB and tables, which just does this SQL model dot metadata dot create all in the engine. Okay. Okay, so then we go I'm confused on how we get this. You just use the GUI. So how do we get this to like be live, right? Forgot about that. So API browser just pull from the database. Okay, so this is just going to be, we need a file called db engine.py, right? Which will create the engine for us. Right? And then so we're going to do from db engine import engine. Right, now we have our engine here. It just gets loaded into here like this. Now, okay, so I have a file that creates the engine on the local route, and then in my main database file, I have a function which calls the metadata create all, right? Engine equals create engine SQL UR connection R's connection R connect R. Okay, you yield a session. Okay, that would make sense. Right, okay, so you would engine, create engine, give me C. So this is our DB engine. This gives us our engine here. So you could say like def get session, which would create with nth session of engine. Yield a session. Okay. So then, do you like call these? I'm trying to think about it of when it gets like when it's live or whatever. That's what I'm kind of confused on. So I did it myself last time. Import models. Explicit session manual control better for script/learning. Right now your file is making concerns. Okay, so let's create a models directory. Let's move equipment. We're gonna create move this here. Models. So our database. I'm confused. I'm confused. Ugh. So our database, we're gonna have an engine .py. Right, this creates our engine. We're gonna say try and do try to do os.getInv, or we'll do this, right? And we're gonna do route is this, except for, is it a value error that typically throws here? What do you think? maybe we just take this and go, if not route, raise our own value error. Say database route. Okay. So create the engine here. So then we're going to have a init db.py file, which is going to initialize our database. So import, or from SQL model, import SQL model, metadata create engine. And so in here, right, we would have like a models.py. Okay, so then what we're going to do, initdb, this takes in it just runs. Just runs this. Then our main database thing here we have details. Yeah. And then you would call init db here right away. So the thing is, we're doing create engine init db, so we need to do import models. Confused. So okay, so let's take what we have so far. We have engine.py, we have initdb, and we have main py here. Route. So engine py. Engine. Route. Engine equals this. Okay, that one's done. db.py. Initialization here. SQL model, engine, import models. Cool. That one's done. Okay, so then in the main here, you would just do this. You run this. Now what you should do next, now that this is stable, the next real step is session lifecycle. Very important. Without leaks. The line SQL model create engine already takes all your SQL model defined models and creates the DB tables. Got you. A session is a transaction, tracker, identity, and unit of work. It's not a connection, a global, short-lived prerequisite. One session per logical operation. Never share sessions. Okay, so we have would this be in its own file? Get session, yield session. I don't really know. Is this like in like file? Okay, so if we have a file session.py, which we go from SQL model import session, we're going to define a get session function which is going to and we're also going to need to do from engine import engine. We're going to do with session of engine as session yield the session made up by creates a new session this year, creates all logic here. Main pi. I'm not sure. This is frustrating. That's how it has to be. And NetDB also has a similar process. From models, all. So models dot tables for all. We'll just put in its own file, equipment type. Import equipment type. I'll import automatically. Okay. Okay, session is that. That looks good. DB init db.py. That one looks fine. Yeah, that one looks fine. Models equipment type. For that one equipment type. Models init.py. how, so I'm confused on how. For FastAPI setup. DBMO. So in their API routes, FastAPI API router dependency, SQL model import session. You from DP session, you got import session. So you just create equipment given a certain session. Huh. I'm confused. Okay. So database, models. API here. FastAPI receives input. Kind of confused. Okay, so what did we do last time? We FastAPI route. Our database is running right now in the background. We just need to send or just start sending API calls to do these commits on this database, but we have this is a initDB to create all those tables. I am confused about how this lives live, like with the initDB and where that gets called and how the DB session remains active for things. Let's see what it says here. Confusion is completely normal. Request session. Most beginners accidentally merge them mentally. Okay, backend has show lifecycle and per request DB session lifecycle. Okay, so there's a startup. App startup. This happens once the server boots. Example. Startup. Session only says ensure tables exist in Postgres. Created now a DB session is created. Inject into route with create equipment. Pass that session into and with the equipment. Session closed. Sessions are not permitted. Permanent. They're key realization. Okay. Session returns the session init by initializes it. Equipment type pi is our schema definitions. So the direct database queries. Okay, I'm going to create yeah, I'm confused. Anybody have any advice? I don't know. I'm kind of stuck on. I don't really know how to get things to like these live here in terms of. I'm not really explaining myself well, but so we have when it's on the server. How is it supposed to initialize? That's what I'm having trouble for. I'm trying to figure out where I need to stick my initDB function so that it starts up. Tired. Mm. Mm. Oh, okay. So here we do. We'll do from FastAPI import FastAPI. We're going to have an app equals to FastAPI. We're going to have a decorator at app.event on event. This is deprecated. Lifespan. App.lifespan. Huh. Where's lifespan? I forgot. I don't know. Dependency injection. There should be some sort of dependency injection in your main app structure. I'm mistaken on the correct arch pattern here. Application main entry point. Okay, so here would be lifespan. So let me look up. async context manager from the context library. So you create a lifespan function that takes in your app and yields the app basically before shutting down. Okay, so object instance. We're going to import from initdb. Okay. Import initdb. Do I know what DI is? No. Lots of things. Could be DI. So lifespan. And then we're going to run initdb. And we're going to yield and that's it. Right? And then you have your FastAPI app below this with lifespan equals to the lifespan function. Dependency injection pattern. Oh. Yeah, I've never heard of it before. Okay, so that's how our main.py looks. Right? So when we call to run FastAPI, we'll run it out of this file, right? And it'll initialize our database right off the jump here. So if I run, let's do a pip install uvcorn. We go uvcorn main app dash reload. We get this. No module named engine. Oh. Passing primary keys not supported, and also passing SA column. Our equipment type here. So you can't set a column with in the field. I guess you have to specify a primary key in the SA column in that case. Primary key true, SA column. Move all DB level configuration into column. So column gets string, primary key, and nullable. Primary key true into here. just copy here to make sure it's the same. Should be. Yeah. Oh, then they put the unique inside column as well here. Okay. Okay, so then if you run this, oh, so this is the logging it's doing from echo true here. And we just got this table equipment type. Okay, and so what we're gonna do is this is gonna be equipment type like that. So then if we go models that equipment type. Where was that at? In initdb.py. Okay, so then if let me go PSQL command to check tables. So we'll do go into Docker. I always forget this command here. Oh, PSQL not found. PSQL not found /dt. Huh. Oh, here we go. This is what I want. I always forget this is the command I was looking for. Oh. Fatal role LabRat does not exist. Oh, I think my role is Postgres. Yeah. There we go. A table. How do you? I think this is going to be valid. Yeah, there is one of these. We're going to drop table. Okay. Now we go. Or what was the command? It's Docker PS. Oh, this is on my server. Oops. That's running. Huh. okay. I guess I'm trolling. All right. So I think that this is just the message on startup, right? Entire stack is not working correctly now. Using SQLAlchemy, talk to Postgres using FastAPI. FastAPI booted successfully. Okay, so if we go here, let's make this equipment type. If we override the, you can do dunder table name equal to a string like this. And so that will automatically will that drop tables? Drop table equipment type. Ugh. Okay, and now if we run this, oh, there we go. There we go. All right, now that's working. Okay, so now when our fast API runs for the, okay, that's what I was forgetting, right? Whenever I do this and I go learn like start learning deep learning or other concepts, I always forget. There's so much to programming and so many different angles that it's like so hard to remember everything. It's the biggest, honestly, it's the hardest part about programming is remembering everything, in my opinion. You don't have to, you can always look stuff up, but it's difficult because then you relearn the same things over and over and over again because it's just so much. You can't even. So you have a lifespan function which initializes the database, right? Creates it via this initialize database function, which creates our which initializes it, creates our tables, and then we yield to the lifespan of the app being alive here, right? So as it will live on our server and then be be running constantly on the server, waiting for requests, waiting for gets, for posts, whatever. So that's we're good there. So what we did today, right, is it looks like a lot, I know. But what we did is we have our database and our models. Our database has three simple files: an initializer, an engine, and a session. Our engine is what creates our actual database engine, right? Simple as that. Creates the database engine and it lives there. Okay? Our initializer takes the engine and initializes the database off of the engine, right? So it reads all of the all of the tables from the models here and creates this engine. Our session takes the engine, right, that currently has all of our tables in it and all of our whatever, and goes ahead and yields a session to do some work on, right? So the flow is you kind of create an engine, you initialize the database to that engine, and then you yield sessions from that engine, right? So when we do API calls, we'll have functions such as like create equipment, and we'll pass in the session and the equipment or whatever to then create equipment in that session for this specific database. So our database will live in this session here. can also add an exit/cleanup function to execute when the app exits. That's a good idea. What kind of functionality? Oh, someone's watering something. What kind of functionality would live in the cleanup or exit function? Like, because we're not dropping tables, right? Or like removing stuff. What would we want to output if our server or fast API app ever dies or exits, right? Some sort of maybe like saving mechanism to make sure everything is saved and in some sort of correct state if things fail, or retries. Isn't using max length then defining the length inside the SA column repetitive? Yeah, that's what it was telling us. It was suggesting us kind of both ways, either way. But we can get rid of it if we want. It was saying we can get rid of it, but certain systems define it, you know, explicitly or whatever. But I mean, yeah, I think it's probably fine. Maybe a log. Okay, yeah, that's probably a good idea. We also need to import logs as well, which I need to do the logger. Okay, so we've got a good start here so far, right? Our engine is here, it gets created. We initialize our database onto that engine, and then because this just creates like an open Postgres container with nothing in it, well, we need to fill all of our tables into it on its startup. So that's what this does. And then, given our engine that now has tables onto it, we yield sessions off of it so you can do work, right? That's how that works. Cool. So then we have this models folder, which we created, which has, I thought I wasn't tracking PyCache files. Let me take this. I thought I wasn't tracking PyCache files. Improve to not track needed stuff. Okay, whatever. Here we go. Okay, now I got rid of those. Okay. So then, I think I probably want to clean. And then we'll probably do like this, right? Remove cache env, env. There's nothing there. How about cached? Okay. Okay, then all the old PyCache commits. Oh, it was that. We did get the command right. It's just the cached PyCache. Okay, cool. Or we just remove the aggressive cache and re-add. Oh. We're still untracked. Okay, cool. We're good then. All right, nice. That sounds good. So we have that set up where I think we got some. Mr. Yugi, I haven't been in the stream in a while. Hope you're going to. Wow, you've grown a ton of members to at least 2K subs. Hey, Mr. Yugi, thanks so much for the support, my boy. Thanks for stopping back in again. Ain't it crazy what just consistency can do for you? Just showing up every single day, little by little. That kind of that Japanese concept or whatever it is, little by little, step by step, sub by sub. 10 subs a day. If I stream 200 days, it adds up, it adds up. So, um, now, and obviously those rates, fluctuate, but, it's kind of, yeah, it's interesting, right? But there's more to it. You obviously, I hate to, you do have to be entertaining and build cool things for people to want to watch you and do things that people want to see. So if you're just, playing video games and suck at it, people probably aren't going to watch your stream or whatever. So it's like, it's kind of weird. Currently learning Go, and it's a journey. Oh, you should link up with Jimmy, um, or with AJ. I mean AJ Brady. He's a big Go guy. Inch by inch, bro. We're taking inch by inch. Bro, chill, 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 chill. Okay, cool. Okay, so this init.py is for our it's because our models is a package, right? And we can determine what we want to import automatically when importing models, I think, from this initializer or something like that. I'm not too experienced on creating official packages. It's pretty layman's term packages for what I use. I'm just, whatever. Okay. All right. Now that's good. Now we have our FastAPI app is running. And then I think what we can also do is we can go to our running instance here. Why is this running in the... Why did it open here? Okay, so then if I go to here, go to docs. Cool. Sweet. So our thing is live. We just don't have any defined operations, right? Which is fine. So in order to do that, let's just quickly route up our first FastAPI route here. We would want to do API let's do a folder here called equipment types.py. What would it be? What would be a good, let's just say, I guess, let's just do temp.py for now. We'll import, well, we already have our FastAPI app living inside of main. So we have our FastAPI app living inside of main already. We just need to define routes for the specific and for these endpoints, right? So we have to link up to that FastAPI route. So we have our app here. We need to add route, given a path, right? And so the path would be wherever this is coming from. API/temp. I don't know. I always forget. So we're forgetting some stuff here though. So we need to do from context library import the async context. Context manager. Context manager here for lifespan. Okay, so then we're going to do this. We're going to have an app add middleware given cores. And cores is from FastAPI. Dot add middleware dot cores import cores middleware, right? Yeah. So then we're going to have a folder in here. We'll say routes. We'll throw temporary in here, right? And then we're going to define a route in here. So in our main, we're going to go from API.routes import temp. And then we're going to do app include router, not add route. And this is going to be from temp dot some function, right, for some route. Oh, because you have to have this router in each of your routes, right? So it would be from fast API import router or API router. And then you have this router, API router prefix of, we'll just call this temp, tags temp, right? And then we'll just do at router.get, and this will be the default get, which will be, hey, you got me a slushie? What the heck? Did you walk?
No.
Oh, you took the car.
Yeah. Try this.
And a big gulp?
No, this is
Oh,
mine.
this is your big gulp. She got me a big gulp better slushie.
So good, right?
Yeah, what is it?
It's sugar free. It's orange. Well, that's what it said. It's orange mango electrolyte, like healthy.
Tastes sugar free. No,
Is
no,
it?
no, no, do not please step behind
I'm
me.
gonna grab it in 1 minute. I just need to show you what else I got for you.
Oh, you went to the thread, that's right.
Short, so we can do yoga together.
I'm gonna lose limb.
No, these are Gymshark.
Oh, Gymshark shorts, huh? I'm a Gymshark guy.
Yeah. No, but
Should we show the crew?
do they want to see a whole haul?
You guys want to see the whole thrift haul my girl got? All right, thrift haul.
Thrift haul. Okay, I got
Thrift haul.
thrift haul. Okay, I got this little tee because it's summer, and it has like a silver little keyhole. And then I got to go over it for summer, a little sheer-ish cardi, a little cardi moment, and it's like lace.
Playboy Cardi.
Cardi B. Little lace, and it has buttons.
Oh.
Buttons. runs over. Gymshark! Yeah, Gymshark! That's what I'm telling you.
I actually told you look like Ashton Kutcher yet. Do I look like Ashton Kutcher?
Yeah, I told you that when we first started dating.
Oh.
There's one picture of him that looks exactly like Ashton Kutcher that I took. And then I got this little see-through, like, knit shirt, and the back is all... The back is, look at the back.
I'm sure that these programmer guys really care about the back of that blouse.
He looks like Ashton Kutcher. Do I look like a celebrity? Besides Sydney Sweeney. Which celebrity do I look like? And then I got these little lace leggings. A lot of sheer and lace because it's summer.
Jeez.
And you should have all your body parts out during summer.
It smells pretty good. Whoever they washed it with was pretty good.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll be done here in a second,
Okay.
and then we'll watch some shows or something.
Okay.
He's better than Ashton Kutcher because he's a dev, they said.
I don't know what that means.
Developer.
Oh, right.
Develop.
Can I make you dinner? I can make you the taco bowl. Can you make that?
Can I do it with chicken?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be good.
That whole thing?
Do we have rice?
Yeah, I can make rice.
That'd be good.
Okay. Well, then I don't really need to prepare it because it's ready.
Okay, cool. Thank you, love. Look at that. Look at that. We gotta put a ring on that. She's making us food. We gotta put a ring on that. You're annoying. Ashton Kutcher is secretly Steve Jobs. Elijah Wood. I've gotten Elijah Wood. I've never gotten that one before. I think it's because of the mustache. That's probably why. I've gotten Cillian Murphy. I've gotten James Dean. Guess I've gotten Ashton Kutcher. Just any white guy with brown hair. Y'all are racist. Y'all are racist. Any white guy with brown hair, y'all's like, Mike looks like that guy. Mike looks like that guy. White guy. That's Mike. That's Mike. White guy, brown hair from the back. That's Mike, I think. Jeez, you guys are trolling. Okay, so we have our router here, def, temp. Let's say this. Turn. Okay. So we go to this guy. Oh, are we down? Prod is down. The server's down. Include router 10. Ooh. Function has no object routes. Uh-oh. Function object has no attribute routes. Router.router. Include router. Temp.temp. Okay, so we're trying to include this function from this route. So you have get that, which returns you some stinky message. Cool. Then our main does router. Oh, you include the router of the whole temp file. So this router catches all of these router decorator functions. That's right. Okay. Okay. Now if we go. Oh! That's what I'm talking about. Start acting, bro. Y'all are funny. Okay, cool. Nice. Look at that. Let's get this tried out. Execute it. Hello world. Nice. Woo! FastAPI, baby. FastAPI. Look at us go. Okay. FastAPI. Let's mix this up. Leave a like on the stream if you're enjoying so far. We're almost to 8,000 subs. Subscribe. Okay. Nice. Okay, so honestly, you guys, that was the hard part. That was the hard part. I might, like, the other parts are pretty easy. It's just rinse and repeat. You just write basic Python code for any functional features you're wanting, data manipulation, send that data up to the front end using the API route, receive the data on the front end, display it somehow, you're done. It's pretty simple. It's just getting it set up and synced all together. That's the hard part, in my opinion. Because once we have the general structure here, all you do is just add in additional routes for files that you make. You add in new files for your new routes, your new features, corresponding new database schemas. You add them into the models. You import those models, and it's just rinse and repeat for feature. Yeah, so honestly, like this is, we got it kind of set up here to this is like the basic boilerplate I keep coming back to. Yeah, we kind of refactor and improve each project using our SQLite, using first off, then we used then we were just using like JSON, raw JSON or whatever in files. Then we bumped it up and started using like and making our own like server stuff and using full stack without using just static sites. Then we bumped it up and started doing Postgres with Docker hosting in our Polyworld app, but that used an old version of PsychoPG. So now we're on the updated version of PsychoPG, and we're in the Polyworld app. We wrote our own database engine getter and committer and whatnot. And so rather than having to deal with all that logic and messing with it, we just threw that out the window and just got with SQLAlchemy and SQL Model here, which is a wrapper of SQLAlchemy. And so yeah, it's pretty good so far. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any tips or suggestions. I am looking for people to join this project. If you're wanting to join this project, trust me, you might be like, Mike, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to really do all this code. I do know how to code, but I don't know how to set up all this. Dude, neither did I. I prompted AI. I looked stuff up on the internet. You look at this whole session. We just started with a blank repo, and we were able to set up FastAPI with our schemas, with SQL model, with SQLAlchemy, with our API, with getting a route going, with a table instantiated, all within 3 hours here. So, it's definitely possible. If I can do it, you can do it too. I'm looking for people that want to participate consistently, so you can't fizzle out and be like, oh, I'm not going to participate anymore after a week because I'm bored, whatever, blah. That no one likes people that don't commit to anything and that can't hold themselves accountable. 2, looking for people that want to actually handwrite code. Yes, you can use AI and stuff for like gathering your thoughts and things like that, but I'm not trying to like code review a 1,500 line PR that you did in an hour because of its AI slop. No. We're going to be strategic and methodological about the features that we want to add and roll them out polished. 3, it's just for learning and fun. If anything comes of this monetary wise, we'll talk about that in the future, but this is just mainly for fun, to learn, to grow as a community. So if you want to be involved in this project, consider joining me. We only have one other person right now that's besides myself that wants to be involved. So if you're wanting to be in there, I'm looking for people. I'll make a Discord chat, and I really would like to this is a good time to get some interaction with other developers to talk about architecture, feature architecture, design, because I really want to ping pong my ideas off you guys and really discuss like pros and cons of going down this way versus this way for equipment ticketing systems versus different laboratory management information systems, like all these different types of things we can add on to here. So if you guys are interested in that, please let me know in the Discord. What do you think of stuff like low-level programming? We do learn C here live on the channel. I have been teaching myself C for a long time now, like a year. We still haven't finished that dang book. It's so big. Pause. Pause. That was a bad one. It's so big. Pause. Oh my god. Chill. Yeah, the big is the y'all got me trolling. Okay, the book is really big, and so we're on like chapter 13 right now. And so it's just taking us forever. But we are learning C pretty well. Like, we're not rushing through concepts. We're kind of learning all the ins and outs and minutiae, like ménage à trois or whatever of C. And so like we're really kind of getting like all of those basics solidified. All right. I'm learning some Golang with Docker. Nice, dude. Yeah, we just got some Docker going here. We got a LabRat instance going for a database here, and it's pretty good. I like it. So this is a container with a single Postgres frame. So you can probably add in another port into this container, maybe. Like, is this an overarching container, and then you have an image here of one image? Could I have multiple images in the same container, like that I could switch to, like different production databases and stuff? That's another question I have. Okay, cool. On that note, let's go ahead and git add. Add temp API route and clean db init flow. All right, cool. And then I'll make a repo on GitHub to push this up to. Is the yo, if you guys get this meme, you're an OG. Oh shoot. What has he started? How does he start it? Oh no. How does he start it? Oh my gosh, it just reminded me of this thing that's like so funny. It's like, what about fathers? What about entrepreneurs? What about guys 8 inches thick? Like, what does that mean? I gotta look it up. I can't look up online with the stream 8 inches and thick, or I don't know what'll come up here. 8 inches and thick meme. Oh, do you like bodybuilders? What about guys that are 8 inches and thick? This is the best video.
Skinny, scrawny guys.
How about multimillionaires? How about 8 inches and thick? How about talented? How about loving and respectful? I lost my wife 10 weeks ago, 21 years faithful. My daughter committed suicide 3 weeks ago.
Oh, shit.
13, she was faster than me at 12, and I run a 6-minute mile. My testimony, I'm nothing but pure.
Yeah, this is slow right here.
Like scrawny guys.
This is SS slow right here,
I
right?
know he trauma dump on us like that. Damn.
This is
Y'all
such
like
a funny
bodybuilders?
video.
Bodybuilders?
Yeah.
I like skinny, scrawny guys.
How about multimillionaires? How about 8 inches and thick? How about talented? How about loving and respectful?
The 8 inches and thick is just out of left field. I saw this one remake of it though. Like, it's starting to come, that meme is starting to come back. This guy filmed himself going up to like some cops. And he's like, you like bodybuilders? What about guys 8 inches and thick? He just like repeated it word for word. And these cops were like, what? Oh, it's so funny. All right, you guys. I think I'm going to take a break here and grab some dinner. I will hop off for now. But I'm probably going to come back on. I'm going to come back on and stream later tonight where we'll continue to start to build some of these routes and go over the functionality of the actual project. Right, so we're going to add in, we have this equipment type table. We need to add in a few more tables to match our schema that we have designed. We have a manufacturer, we have service vendor, we have equipment model, we have equipment asset, and those are the ones that we're going to add in so far. And so once I get those added in, we're ready to really think about the core logic of like the ticketing system and how that's going to work. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with me. This was awesome. Thanks so much, you guys. I will see you in a couple hours if I hop back on. Make sure you join the Discord, subscribe, like, and I'll see you in a little bit. Thank you.